Hey everyone! So today on this episode of Mad Talks, we're gonna do
Mad Talks.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. I just was gonna say more. You're really excited, so I was gonna let you continue.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Okay. All right. On this episode of Mad Talks, we're gonna actually answer one of our viewers' questions. Okay. What's the name of the viewer?
Please God, smite me.
Okay. Please God smite me. All right. That's the name of the viewer. Okay. He asked, we do love you guys. Thank you guys for watching our content and supporting us. Joel. Yeah. And yeah, he's a student here. Yeah. And he's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But anyways, he asked, what's faster ways to recovery? So I'm guessing what he's talking about is like, you're sore, you're beat up, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily injured, right? Because we did a separate Matt talk about injuries right here. Watch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just faster ways to recover in between training sessions.
Okay.
So do you have some go-tos?
So in between training sessions, I would say, stay moving around, like, going on like a little walk or something. I feel like, a lot of people train super hard, then they just go like lay down and then without like stretching or anything like that. And they're just like depleted, start cramping up, muscles get tighter. So I feel like tapering off as you like go through your training session. So like maybe like you had you had the class with the warm up and all that good stuff. You had like your first rolls, you have some really good hard rolls. You taper off towards the end with like chiller roll towards the end. Go ahead, take your shower, go home, but not immediately like laying down. I feel like at least for me, it definitely makes me feel worse. I feel like a little bit of movement is definitely beneficial.
Those are great. That's all great suggestions. Yeah, I like to do a lot of active recovery too.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe a little, like you said, a little walk, get some vitamin D, get some fresh air. I think that's always great.
Mm-hmm.
Water. That's water. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you are going to be training again that day, I know I hate like overeating before I train.
Oh.
It's the worst on the planet because you're going to feel like hungry after your training session where you'll be like, I need to eat everything right now. But I feel like you can eat, like it depends on like the gap obviously in between the training sessions that you're going to be doing. But I would eat heavier towards the like right after practice, and then right before practice it's something like either like nothing at all or like something very small, like a little piece of fruit or something.
There's a lot of science to that. Like when it comes to what you eat, like some things will make you bloated, some things will make you more inflamed, right? When it comes to like certain like people have like what's it? Is it celiacs? Is that what it is? When it's like carbs and gluten and stuff like that. Yeah. So
allergic to gluten.
And then also some people are lactose intolerant. So like if you're if you're eating certain things, it's gonna definitely make it feel more uncomfortable to train. So I would say, yeah, the when you eat and what you eat, that's great advice for recovery between classes or between days, right? Training days as well too. I think there's things you could do. Like I think stretching after a good workout will always speed up the recovery process, keep you more limbered. If you, like Onyx says, if you just lay down right away, you're going to stiffen up. And once you stiffen up, sometimes that's really hard to like get your body moving again.
You feel like crap for the rest of the day.
Oh, dude, yeah. But I would say right after your training session, right after your first jiu-jitsu session or your weightlifting session or whatever you're doing, if you spend like 10 to 15 minutes just doing a little bit of stretching, it'll actually help increase the recovery process.
Or even like stance in motion.
Oh yeah, like that, just a little movement. Yeah,
a little bit of movement. I feel like it's good.
Conor McGregor,
do the wiggly.
That's great. I like that. Yeah, and then the dude in the park playing.
Oh, touch butt in the park. Do some of that.
Yeah,
get the homies together. Yeah. Make sure they all got man buns and start play touch butt in the park. Only with your friends though. Don't just be touching random butts in the park. That's how you get arrested. Don't do that.
You said it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
Yeah.
It's a quote.
Yeah.
I'll stand by it. Don't be weird.
Yeah, but yeah, movement's great. Yeah. Movement's really good. Just like staying nice and limber. That was a Zombie Land rule, right? I forget which one.
Limber up.
I think it was
It's one of them. Sure.
3 or 4 or something. Yeah. But yeah, another ways that you can recover. I don't really do it between training sessions. I do it like if I have like a rest day. So if I have a rest day, on my rest day, I'll hit maybe if I'm really beat up, I'll hit an ice bath. Yeah, but it does work.
They definitely work.
Yeah, you have ice bath. You have cryotherapy. That's a nicer version of the ice bath, but it costs money. Massage is always a good idea. Also, like one of my go-tos lately has been like these hot Epsom salt baths. I have a problem with my body sometimes getting extremely tight. So taking like a hot Epsom salt bath, it's been a way to loosen up my body. I do that, like I said, on my more like the days I have off, not in between sessions though. I notice sometimes too when I train more, it actually speeds up the recovery. So like your body goes into that kind of like I need to recover faster mode
because we're gonna train again.
Exactly, because like hey, my body needs to work right now. We gotta increase recovery, and so like maybe it's a hard start, but then you'll start to break a sweat. You'll start to feel looser. You'll start to be able to move, that kind of stuff.
And if it is like day-long gaps where you're like, okay, this is like a full rest day, then still like don't just sit on the couch. You know what I mean? And it might be convincing to just sit on the couch and play some Bloodborne or whatever, but move around a little bit, you know what I mean?
Is that what you play?
Afterwards. Bloodborne's sick, dude.
All right, it's all right.
Bloodborne's a great game. But all right. Move around a little bit through in the day, you know what I mean? A little bit of cardio never hurt nobody. You know, walk around a little bit, help grab some groceries, you know, something. Anything to like move around. You just don't want to be all still and stagnant on what's supposed to be your rest day. Best rest is active recovery, I think.
Yeah.
To me.
I like it. I like active recovery. I do the same thing. I do it also after injury. Like, okay, I got like a little injury. A lot of people are like, rest, ice, elevate, don't do move. I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm moving. You know, I'm moving around.
A little bit, as much as you can.
Yeah. Those are some of our go-to ways. Let us know in the comments some of your guys' go-to ways.
Yeah, we did day. Like if you're training twice a day, then if it's like a full rest day, now short recovery time.
Yeah.
If you have a tournament and it's between matches, how would you recommend?
Oh, for me, it's about controlling my heart rate. If I need to slow my heart rate down, I have to slow my heart rate down. If you don't slow your heart rate down, you'll never fully recover and get ready for your next match. So here's a really good, I know it's very cheesy, very generic, but it actually works. If you actually you can actually master this. Like we do 30-second rests in between rounds. So with that 30 seconds, you know, practice your breathing habits. 5-second inhale through the nose, 5-second exhale through the mouth. You want me to show you? You want to do it together?
Okay.
Ready? By doing that will help you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was like we were synced up. Yeah, doing that, I do when I corner my fighters, I do that with them. I make them control their heart rate. When my guys that do jiu-jitsu tournaments, I take them to the side and let them control their heart rate. And that's like one of those things that we can control is our breathing and our heart rate. And once we slow down that heart rate, our body will recover. It will do the rest of the recovery on its own. So we just have to start with controlling that heart rate, and everything else will be good. That's one thing I like to do. I would like say it's good to get off your feet a little bit. Just sit down for a second and let your body kind of just chill for a second. Collect itself. Yeah. And then get some water. Don't overdrink because you'll get bloated very easily.
Start puking.
Oh, dude, that has happened to you. That has happened.
Just slamming body armors in between matches.
Yeah, don't drink like little sips. Control your heart rate. Sit down.
Fruity vomit everywhere.
Calm down. Okay, and then after maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes of that, after you're kind of like okay, I'm kind of collected myself. I'm ready to go. Then you have to get up, start getting warmed up again, and get ready for your next match. That's how I would recommend. That's how I used to do it when I competed. What do you do about you between matches?
between matches, because I like a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, they don't have like where wrestling will have bigger gaps in between matches for tournaments. Where jiu-jitsu tournaments, you might have like all back to back to back to back.
Yeah, you're lucky to get like if you can get 10 minutes, that's usually lucky. Mm-hmm. More likely, like for him, because he's doing like 2 divisions, 3 divisions at a time, he has to literally go from one match to another match. So for you, it's usually more extreme. Mm-hmm. You're like you're about 5 minutes, I would say, at the most. Mm-hmm. So how would you deal with that?
So if I gotta add quick, I am I'll throw my clothes back on. You know what I mean? I'll
stay warm.
Yeah, exactly. So I always bring like sweatpants, no matter what temperature it is outside or whatever. Throw that right back on because I want to keep my body warm so my muscles are ready to go for the next match. And then again, like you were just saying, immediately start working on the breathing. So I'm doing kind of like 2 things at once. I'm getting my wind back, getting my mind back together, but I'm keeping my body warm. So I'm resetting like my I guess airways, my lungs or whatever, but continuing to keep my muscles ready to go. Kind of assessing where my body's at. If something's tight, then I'll try to stretch that as much as I can right before, but mostly just like trying to get my wind back, and then I'll be ready for my next match because my body will still be warm from the previous match.
Nice. Yeah. And Onyx competes a lot, so I would definitely consider his advice for sure. So his advice is great because like he doesn't have a huge period of rest time in between matches. As you get to the highest level, it's going to change. It's not going to be so extreme, but yeah, like some of the tournaments he's done, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. A lot of chaos for sure.
Also, a little bit of water, and then also if you have like something sweet, like a little bit of like something sugar, like people will use like honey or like a piece of apple or like anything like that. Yeah. Little toss just a little bit back, and just a little bit of sugar boost. I feel like it makes a slight difference. You'll feel good. You know what I mean? Just splash of water, a little something, and then ready to get going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like to also like put music back on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm dialed back in.
I sometimes people don't realize it. They're not trying to do it intentionally, but sometimes they cause more chaos. A lot of people will come to you and start talking to you, be like, "Hey, that was cool, man. I'm looking for you next. Hey, what about this? What about that? And you're like, fuck, I'm about to fight another guy in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, just use me as a scapegoat. Coach told me to put my music on. I have to focus up for the next match. Sorry. Because like that kind of freaking chaos is only going to make your recovery a lot worse between matches. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be harder to keep your focus. So it's sometimes you need in the competition scene, you need to be a little selfish in those scenarios. Mm-hmm. And if they'll understand.
Yeah, they should.
They should. Yeah. And just use me, bro. Just say, exactly. Coach said I'm not allowed to talk to people. Yeah. Use that. Yeah, just use that. I don't care.
The mental fatigue part is real too.
It is.
If you just had a really tough match, not only is your body tired, but also like your brain still, your brain might be working at like 30% at this rate. So you really do gotta, and if you have a match in like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you really gotta reset that too, as much as you can,
Awesome, man. Anything else you want to say about this recovery topic? I think we kind of covered almost.
Yeah,
I think everything.
3 big bases between same day training.
Rest day off.
Yeah, or the rest day recovery, and then, quick recovery.
Yeah. You got to sleep too. Like if you're not having good sleep, if you only have 4 hours of sleep a day, your body doesn't have a chance to recover. You got to sleep. Okay. Right. So like if you're not sleeping, I would start with that for sure. Okay. Last words. What do you want to say to the people?
Train hard, recover harder.
All right, that's a good slogan right there. Yeah. All right, bye.